we never stop grinding for you. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge, your sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it is not close. All of the odds right here on the Early Edge are provided by our incredible partners, the king of all sports books, BetMGM. A shout-out to start the show. Our girl Ken's locking it down last night, getting into the club in her very first try. Oh, I'm not taking calls from Coach Phil this morning. No. We'll see him tonight on Primetime Early Edge, breaking down Monday Night Football. It's the Bears. It's the Vikings, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and a chance for history to be made. Favorites, 12 out of 15 covered this week. That ties a single season record. If the Vikings cover it tonight, it'll be 13 out of 16, and that will be a new NFL record. But will they do it? Let's find out. On a Monday, when everybody else is taking the day off, everybody else says to their top stars, you don't have to show up. That's not how we do it. We bring in our absolute very best. Bring in the stars of the show. You know them. You love them. By the way, hit that like button for me. Look who I have this morning. Are you kidding me right now? An embarrassment of riches. The counselor is here. My man, Danny Brasco, is here. My five-tool player, AB, is here. And Buckets, after a weekend off, had a Black Friday to end all Black Fridays. He is back. But who gets our 15 seconds today? Well. You know what, Buckets? I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. How about you take our 15 seconds and just dazzle us with your brilliance? What do you got this morning?
I wasn't expecting to get chosen, so I have absolutely nothing for you here today, Coach. Thank you for your
Brilliant.
time.
Dazzle.
Classic.
Dazzle.
Brilliant stuff right there. Great job. Great job. By the way, in the chat, say, well done, Buckets. Not. All right, we got a lot to get to today because remember, the NBA is up and running. College basketball is up and running. We're heading into December. This is one of the busiest times of the year. We also have Monday Night Football. Fade or follow. It's time to play our little favorite game, and tonight the Bears, they travel up north. These are the numbers according to BetMGM. It is 3. It's been hovering around that number all week. The total is 44. So, counselor, let's start with you. Are we fading or following the Vikings to make history tonight?
This one's tough. I mean, I do think the line is pretty efficient. My lean would be to the Bears +3. I think this is a closely contested game. And frankly, I think there's a perception about the Bears that they're this awful team when actually, if you just kind of look at them over the last 5-6 weeks, I mean, they have been managing some decent defense and some pretty good offense, especially with Justin Fields on the field. His passing efficiency is up. I think he matches up well against this Brian Flores defense. So I think this is probably a close game. Now, the question becomes, am I actually going to bet the spread? Probably not, but I have some props, and I actually am probably looking at some team totals as well, as opposed to taking the spread. For example, tonight on Early Edge Primetime, you might see me take a Bears team total over as opposed to the Bears +3.
Hashtag next level. Hashtag next level. And while we're going through this, I'm actively looking at SportsLine inside the game, and there are no less than 8 to 10 plays in the game if you're a SportsLine member. So, Danny Brasco, let me come to you. We're leaning towards the Bears for the counselor. What about you?
I'll go slight lean the opposite way and lean towards Minnesota, but I like the way the counselor is thinking about this game. I tend to agree with him in terms of really being extra confident in placing my bet on a side in this one. I'd rather look at opportunities, maybe the total, because there's competing angles for both quarterbacks. We've seen Josh Dobbs just beat the odds time and time again, but you look below the numbers, and there are some concerns against the blitz. Sia mentioned the Bears kind of shaping up on defense. Their success rate has gone way up. So if Dobbs is under pressure on that, I could see him having some success. Same can be said about Fields. His numbers drop off heavily against the blitz, and the Vikings blitz at the highest rate in the league behind defensive coordinator Brian Flores. So tough to make a call on the side. The market seems pretty even. I'm going to lean Vikings just because of the improbability and the broken playness of Josh Dobbs to make it make sense when it doesn't.
The broken playness.
If that's a word.
Something even Buckets can understand. The open playness. I like that. By the way, speaking of the crew showing up, Amags is in the chat. If you have any questions for him, He's going to be dipping his toe into the football and basketball waters this year. Looking forward to having him on more as well. If I could talk this morning and wake up. So, AB, let me come over to you. So we've already tackled 2 different angles on this game. How are you looking at this one?
So you look at the Vikings here, all right, and Josh Dobbs, and everyone knows I love Josh Dobbs. Not that I don't like Justin Fields at all, but Dobbs is my guy. That being said, the Vikings and Dobbs, it's kind of like when you start like losing weight, okay? At first, you start cutting a bunch of water weight, and it feels great, right? Your jeans are a little loose, hoodie feels just a little bit better. You're like, dude, I feel phenomenal. That's great for the first month. The next 3 months, it gets a little more difficult to drop each LB, right? And that's kind of how I feel where the Vikings are, is that it started off awesome. You're just winning games. Dobbs doesn't know anybody there. His key card barely works in the facility. Now you have to keep doing it, and you have to keep doing it, right? And I think I look at 2 teams that are almost identical. So I'll say this. The over feels fun and nice tonight because I think both of these quarterbacks are going to turn the hell out of the ball over. I think we're going to see short fields for both teams. I think it's going to be kind of a disjointed, messy game, but in a fun way, right? Like, I think it's going to be an exciting game, but it's not going to be pretty. Give me the over 44.
Speaking of not pretty, I love all that analysis, AB. Absolutely love it. Speaking of not pretty, it's not that the picture isn't pretty, but making Buckets sit there this long without opening his mouth so all the new people that are trying out the brand today can listen to his brilliance. So, Buckets, when you were taking the picture that now has become everybody's favorite, when you made your trip to my favorite country, Japan, I don't know if this was before the weight loss or after the weight loss. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All I know is that everybody loves this picture and everybody loves the no-fly zone pick, which seems to hit every single game. What is my life? So, Buckets, luckily for you, the first initial is the same for both quarterbacks today. So that's one hurdle you're already past. So you see the numbers according to BetMGM. Where are you headed?
Coach, I see another French QB up there. So here's the deal. AB and I talked last night, and frankly, we're both a little bit embarrassed. Embarrassed that I've now hit the no-fly zone 13 times this season, with the majority of them being French QBs, and not once, not a single time, have we ever given out a take in the French language.
So
without further ado...
Oh, no.
Go off.
Bonjour, la famille Liège. Je m'appelle Buckets. Aujourd'hui, pour la no-fly zone, nous reviendrons une nouvelle fois sur un QB français. Ça signifie que nous prenons Josh Dobbs pour les Vikings de Minnesota à minus 105 pour lancer un INT. Je vous verrai tous à la hashtag party at the pay window, Coach. And for our non-French speakers in the chat, J Dobbs to throw an INT, baby.
What the heck? What just happened?
He's done it again.
I'm on the wrong show.
Kovan said it best. What can this man do?
What? I feel like asking about Girona team total over 1.5 is just not enough right now. It's just not enough right now. What was that? What was that? Oh,
I want to say, last night, Buckets is correct. He texted me last night. None of that, like, I hope everyone understands, none of this is produced, scripted, nothing. Buckets just said, all the text said last night was, show tomorrow, French, get ready. And I said, all right.
AB, I don't think you really have to tell the people the show isn't produced. I think that's pretty obvious. I think that is pretty obvious. Holy smokes. I can guarantee that will be posted on social media later this morning. I can promise you that. You're so proud of yourself, right? You are so proud of yourself. Right?
I am proud, but also
you are.
To any of our viewers that actually speak French, I apologize because I'm sure that was terrible to listen to.
Are we sure that party at the pay window is actually said party at the pay window in French?
I think it's because when I put it in the Google Translate with the hashtag first, it kind of messed it up. So it just had it all as one word.
I think if you trademark it, it becomes an official proper thing. We'll have to check with Sia though. I mean,
are we just going to ignore what he just said?
Go on.
I'm just looking it up on Google Translate to give the take on the Google. We're not 90 Day Fiance. That's not who we are. And you got the Google Translate out there. Party at the pay window. All right, I was going to jump into some picks from the Thank you guys for brightening up the beginning of a Monday after a holiday. Well, Matt, we try. Buckets tries. We all just try to exist. So everything I was going to do, I'm not going to do it now because it just seems very minute. Do you know what that word means, Buckets?
That's French, so of course I know what it means, Coach. It means minute.
Yeah.
Shout out Google Translate, jumping in sponsorship game.
Sia, you have any comments on the fact that he thinks minute is a minute? 60
Well,
seconds?
Buckets is Buckets, apparently. So that actually, it matches. That there's a parallel there. And I love the fact that in French it's book it. That makes sense. So you can book his picks.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Every time a moment like this happens, I just feel like Sia is just not going to show up the next time. Like, this is so far below me. I can't even tell you.
Coach, what you don't know is me and Sia are secretly starting a class action lawsuit for all the time that we've served.
Why are you suing him? He wasted our time. Completely wasted.
Somebody's going to have to start kicking overtime checks to Sia and Danny.
How about my man Glenn says, I'm sitting on a bucket listening in the janitor's closet while I do an invoice.
Hey, I'll see you there. I'll see you there in about 15 minutes, buddy.
No kidding. I got to do my invoices today, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And real quick, Marvel brings up a great point, like alongside all of this. Frank Reich.
Oh, yeah, bury the lead.
Fired.
Sorry, Frank. That was supposed to be at the top of the show. Frank Reich has been fired by the 1-10 Carolina Panthers, but like a lot of other coaches, he will get millions to not work. Interesting. All right. Rebecca says, look what Rebecca says. Y'all have a great case. Lots of character witnesses.
Yes.
But for which side? That's what we're worried about. For which side?
What we've learned, Coach, what we've learned this morning with the Frank Reich news is that when you lose to the Tennessee Titans, you're getting fired. That's how bad it is.
It happens, man. Well, if you watched yesterday at noon, we told you Titans, we told you Colts, and we told you one other bad team was Steelers. All were going to win. They all won by at least 6. Pays to watch live. Counselor was on that show too. This week anyway. All right. I think we've adequately talked about Monday Night Football enough. We need picks for today. So, Buckets, and please in English, please. I know that you came strong today. You brought your soccer game because a 2-week-long international break is too long for any of us. So we're back. All the leagues are back. We got a bunch to choose from. Where are we headed today?
Coach, we are going to start with a little Danish appetizer at 1 p.m. with Silkeborg hosting Midtjylland. And this one we're keeping very simple. We're just going to bet goals here. Over 2.5 goals at -120 to be exact, because these are two of the best attacking teams in all of Denmark right now. Both teams have 25 goals apiece to their name. Both teams must win, and both teams kind of are finding a little bit of form here. Silkeborg is struggling. I don't know who's going to win this game, but a 2-1, 1-2, 2-2 kind of scoreline would not shock me. Take over 2.5 in this first one. Then we go from Denmark to France. And everybody, keep your voices low because I have a secret for us on this match. The line in the match between Angers and Kane is wrong. It is way too soft. Angers over 1.5 team total is +125. I would have played that even if it was -150 here because Angers are just too good right now. After relegation last season, they seem to clean everything up. They fix their problems both on and off the pitch, and they have been an absolute monster in the second flight of French footy, Ligue 2. Sorry, Coach, I'll do the rest in English now, but had to get that out of the way here. Angers in their last 7 matches have scored 2 goals apiece or more in 7 straight. And meanwhile, Kane is just not good enough to compete with them right now. I like the money line, but I love the fact that we can get 1.5 team total at plus 125. Then finally, we go from France to Spain to Old Faithful here. Girona is playing today. And if you've watched a single episode of The Early Edge, then you know that when Girona plays, you bet both teams to score, you bet team total, you bet over 2.5, you bet goals, and you bet on fun, because Girona is probably the most entertaining team, not only in Spain, but in any of the top European flights right now. I'm taking both teams to score and over 2.5 goals to get that juice down in their match against Athletic. And honestly, I don't know again who's going to win this game, but this one could see 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. So take that little same game parlay and get ready for the party at the pay window.
Well, you kind of ruined it for yourself, big boy, because now everybody in the chat, they love you, but they want every pick in France.
I was originally going to do all 3 picks in their correct language. So, Danish for the first one, French for the second, and Spanish for the third. But that would have been tough.
What language do they speak over there in Spain?
If you don't know, you just don't know. By the way, they're asking about Girona team total over 1.5 today. Would you like it?
I do like that. Athletic's going to be a pretty tough test for them, but Girona at home, there's no reason not to bet it.
Okay. Well, Bradley says, looks like Buckets and I are on the same page yet again. Oh, interesting, Bradley. Because guess what? I knew Buckets was going to be on the show today. So what did I tell you, AB? I am sick and tired of Buckets, Guru, Brant Sutton, anybody thinking they're a better soccer capper than me. And I'm even more tired of you in the chat that thinks that Buckets is a better soccer capper than me. So I've got one play today. I'm going to go to the English Premier League, and I'm going to go Wolverhampton. Draw no bet, plus money, because that's what next-level soccer cappers do. Now, I could have played plus 1/4, plus 1/2. No, I want the plus money for all of you at home. Plus 131. They're playing Fulham. Fulham is a shadow of their former selves. Wolverhampton really starting to get things going, and they're fresh. Legs are fresh, coming off that big break. I love draw no bet today. Give me that little cushion for a draw to get my money back. Buckets, you like that play?
Coach, I love that play so much. I actually wrote a SportsLine article which included that play that you can find on the SportsLine site. I'm not accusing you of reading my article and taking my pick, but I do have 3 plays for that game on the site.
Really?
But, I mean, we're both next level cappers, right? So it just makes sense that we're on the same page.
I feel like you're accusing me right now.
No, I would never. Are you kidding?
As
Me?
that attorney and jury consultant, I can tell you that definitely sounded like an accusation.
We're going to trust this guy? We're going to trust this guy?
Objection. Leading.
Boom.
Sustained. Yeah.
You said we're going to trust this guy? Yes, we're going to trust Sia way more than we trust you. Yes, 100%. There's not even a question.
Coach, my favorite part of all of that was our man, Brant Sutton, catching a stray right there.
Silent assassin for no reason.
Sorry, Brant.
Oh, no, Brant will get it. He'll laugh.
My bad, dog. All right. So the next level soccer cappers are done. 2 superstars down, 3 to go. But where do we go next? I want to focus on Monday Night Football. I want to cash the tickets early and later. So, Danny Brasco, let me come over to you, because there is nothing I like more than a very nice, as you already said, opportunity for the game tonight. What do you got?
I love a opportunity on Justin Fields over 52.5 rush yards, Coach. And I think he's primed to do so in a matchup against the Vikings. I mentioned before, defensive coordinator Brian Flores loves to blitz, highest blitz rate in the league at 49%. And Fields' numbers passing actually drop off significantly when under the blitz. So you take a look at that. What's he going to do? He's going to have to take off. Daniil Hunter in that defensive line is probably going to be in his face all night. Now, the Bears in their first meeting with the Vikings actually had a good deal of success in week 5 with the run before Fields went down with that injury. But before he went out, 8 rushes for 46 yards. And the rest of the Bears running back corps, but it wasn't really running backs. It was wide receivers. They were doing all sorts of non-traditional running schemes. I think you could see that as well with Fields here with Deontay Foreman out. It's just him and Khalil Herbert as their main runners, maybe a little Rashawn Johnson in there. But look for design runs from Fields. That blitz is coming. He's going to have to use his legs. I see Fields going well over this number 52.5 tonight.
It's the only way they can win, I think, don't you? It's the only way.
Yeah, and they're going to have to keep pace with you're going to hear Sia talk about his play that kind of aligns with this one against the blitz. I won't spoil his pick, but similar angles there. They're going to have to use the explosive plays, and Fields using his legs is certainly that, Coach.
All right, I encourage you to get this play in now because my guys move lines, and when we get to the show tonight, we'll be like, "How that was 6 yards ago?" Well, we told you about it right now. Get it? BetMGM. Thank you very much. All right, AB. I know I can always count on you to give me several different angles on a very clear-cut game. Where are you headed today, sir?
We are headed to both quarterbacks, and I will tell you this. I want to leave all of us right here because what Danny and Sia and Coach, all three of you, and Buckets too, have alluded to plays right into my two plays. All right? Number one, Bears to lose a fumble, plus 125. Justin Fields will be moving all over the place. He puts the ball on the ground. It happens. The Vikings bring blitzes like no other team in the NFL. They will force him to drop one. Number two, the Vikings to lose a fumble at plus 130 because Josh Dobbs will fumble more than almost any quarterback in the NFL. And as Danny alluded to, the Bears defense is getting better and they will bring pressure as well. And take a look at these numbers, plus 130, plus 125. All you have to do is hit one of them at a normal standard unit and you come out positive. You're probably going to hit both of them, but all you need is one. So playing them both really helps that, yeah, you can hit two, but you kind of give yourself a little bit of insurance as well.
I like that a lot. By the way, Cortez is asking, and I'll come to you, Danny, in a second. Cortez is asking about Fields' attempts to you, AB.
I don't know what the number is. That being said, here's the thing. The Vikings will try to have long sustained drives because they just don't hit big plays. The Bears don't really hit big plays either. So I kind of dig it. You just have to
real quick. 26 and a half. 26 and a half.
Yeah, like what you have to find is which team is going to have the more sustained drives, okay? And if you can identify that team, you will crush attempt numbers, completions, things like that, because I think that part is going to be a little disjointed. Quite frankly, yeah, I think it's the Bears. I honestly do. I think it's the Bears. Yeah.
Very good. Danny, go to you.
Yeah, I was going to mention actually something on the attempts. I might more to the lean towards my pick, go for the rush attempts, just because simply put, I think the plays will break down. He will be forced to use his legs instead of his arm. You heard Chris Collinsworth all the time talking about Tyson Bagent does a lot of things that the Bears probably wish Justin Fields. Tyson Bagent has a better chance of winning a rap battle at the shelter in 8 Mile than he does having more success than Justin Fields. Like the beanie and the picture, that's all endearing and well and good, but it's not going to work. He's going to fumble from the pocket. If you might get that fumble from inside or out of the pocket, whichever QB you use. So I think that Fields is going to look to disprove maybe what Collinsworth and the coaches want in that pocket presence of Bagent and have success with the legs, which is, like you said, the only way the Bears have a chance here.
Such a good take. That is such a good take. By the way, Buckets, AGNZIS is asking, do you know what's going on? You look zoned out.
I think that's just my face. AGZNS. It's just what I look like. What a great answer.
I like that we're getting dark mode. We're getting dark mode Buckets today.
Yeah, very mysterious Buckets today. Ryan says, Buckets and Sia, my two guys. Well, Ryan, you already got one of your guys' picks and the no-fly zone. How about the other guy, Sia Nejad? We're going to create a name for this spot. The Sia. Well, I got to come up with it, but we're changing a few things as we move forward. So I'll come up with something. But Counselor, I know I can always count on you. Always count on you to show up and show out. You're up.
Perhaps this is the closing argument with my 13 years of trial experience.
So good.
I'll tell you what. I think this game is going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch. And I also think Justin Fields really needs to show out. Like, let's not forget, there's still a lot of people, including people in the Bears organization, that don't think that Justin Fields is going to be their quarterback of the future. So I think it's an important game, both for the Vikings and the Chicago Bears. With that said, Justin Fields' primary target it's always been and it always will be DJ Moore. DJ Moore is just so dynamic. And frankly, you're not going to run the ball that successfully against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, they'll try, and Khalil Herbert will probably find some space here and there with Deontay Foreman out. And on the other side of the ball, it's the same thing. Both teams are going to have trouble running. But the long and short of it is the primary read, the first read, and the primary target, we're talking about a 30% target share for Justin Fields, is DJ Moore. So this line is 61.5 as of yesterday. Full disclosure, it's down to 60.5 for whatever reason. So you can get this line at 60.5. Maybe you can even find 59.5. By kickoff, it'll be back up to 61.5, in my opinion, maybe 62.5. Either way, it's a good time to take the line. Again, a 30% target share. You look at the game where Justin Fields came back, he had 9 targets, and he was very efficient with them with 7 catches and over 90 yards. I think we're going to see a similar distribution this week, or I should say tonight on Monday Night Football. So when you think about Cole Kmet, yeah, he could have a big game. Darnell Mooney, not so much. St. Brown, not so much. Like all of these targets, if we're looking at 25, 26.5 pass attempts, which we just went over, I honestly think about 10 of those, if not 9, could go to DJ Moore. And if he's even moderately efficient with them, especially against this blitzing defense for the Minnesota Vikings, where if Justin Fields can get the ball out, he can probably find DJ Moore in some space. Love this play over 61.5.
I absolutely love this play. And the chat was going bananas, Sia, while you were giving your takeout, because they all want to be the ones that name the segment. But I think you just named your own segment. I don't know if we can do better than that.
Well, you remind me of something. Credit to Eric David, who is often in the chat. I don't know if he's in it right now, but he's the one that coined the counselor. So I'm happy to hear suggestions on something off the closing argument, but that's good too.
Sometimes, I've learned as the resident brander here, sometimes your first one can be your best one. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to spend days going, we've got 25. Sometimes the first one can be the best one, period. By the way, we got a little Turkey Super League today, Buckets. They're asking about Civispor and Trabzonspor today.
I would probably stay away from it. I do lean goals in that game with a Trabzonspor victory, but the Turkish Super League has just been tough this year. It has not been kind of that goal fiesta that we saw in previous years, so just tread lightly with Turkish games today.
Yeah, that starts at noon Eastern time, by the way, both those games, if you're looking to bet Turkey Super League. By the way, did you say French duh?
Yeah, it means 2.
It's
the second league of
French. You don't have
French.
to explain things to me.
He does speak French, Coach. He does speak French.
That's actually a very good point, Danny. I need to take a step back. Clearly, somebody said they want the ending of the show, the year marching orders and all that. They want that done in French now. Apparently, we need to have, just like when I was doing Monday Night Raw, we had the Spanish announce table that always got smashed, and we had our announce table that never got smashed.
The Spanish announce table always got smashed every time.
Those 4 guys, they would have no table in front of them for the last 30 minutes of the show. It was
you would just see Shawn Michaels flying into it like every single time.
Oh, the guys hated it. Oh, they hated a broken table. All right. Joe just said that was a flex by Buckets.
Duh.
Joe's so right. Joe's
so
right.
So right. He was so proud of himself. French duh.
But Buckets, I gotta give Buckets some credit because someone asked him about Trabzonspor and he just had an answer. I was pretty sure that was a Pokemon. So shout out Buckets for being able to answer about any soccer team, any place in the globe. That impressed me, dude. Coach, I wanted to say one thing about the over/under.
Yeah, please.
12-1 last 13 Monday Night Football games to the under, but AB was talking about broken plays and the ability for, just the sloppiness, maybe for it to go over. Justin Fields' last 15 games, 12-3 to the over. So despite the prime time under trends, I'm actually leaning over.
And that's why we have Danny on the show, Buckets. He actually brings something to the table. Now that Early Edge is going big time on network TV, I think they need to go multilingual too. Ben, you were so close. And then you just took 5 steps back. You were so close. So close.
Buckets is our guy that you just hear the voice in like 91 different languages that's just going.
Why do I feel like I'm going to get a call today asking exactly that?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah, you think it's going to be you're in trouble. And it's actually like all the execs are like, no, all the suits love it. Like we want it. Yeah.
You know what they don't love? Eric in the chat. Thank you, Eric. You guys, you're so spoiled and you're so lazy too. Less than 100 likes on this show? Are you serious right now?
Coach,
what, Buckets?
Sorry, you said, you know who they don't like? Eric in the chat, and then you paused for a sec. The exec's not a fan of Eric, but make sure you hit that like button.
Yeah, they call me about Eric all the time.
That would be awesome. Like if everybody was like zoned in like on each comment.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I love when shows go off the rails. Just like
the chat. We love the chat. Shout out to you guys.
Oh, the chat's the best in the damn game. Did I tell you this real quick, Coach? Apologies. This is how good the Early Edge chat is, okay? After the Thanksgiving Day show, all right? So I go through and read all new audience reviews. People who've just watched the show for the first time, they leave a little bit of a review. It was about the Thursday show on Friday, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he said, AB's picks sucked. They went 1-3. However, the chat was popping. I'm coming back for that. So you know what? I can deal with that. Well done to the chat. You're actually a selling point for the show. No other chat in the game can say that. So
no,
well done. Like tip of the cap. Yeah.
But I will say this, if you keep having 1-3 days, you might not be coming back on the show.
Yeah. Chat, keep a spot for me. I might be joining you over there.
Oh, you'll be popping. You'll be popping right out of here is where you'll be popping. Oh, we love you guys so very much. Oh, I can't even tell you. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here's a recap, courtesy of my man AB on the ones and the twos doing double work. This is how the week is supposed to start off. Thank you. Whoever wrote that in the chat. All right, Buckets, 3 big plays today. Hingers, team total over 1.5 plus money. Love that. Then Girona, Bilbao, that's Spanish La Liga today. Both teams scored over 2.5. It's a great way to bring the number down because separately, they're big numbers. Together, you need 3 goals and you need both teams to score. It's a little bit more difficult. We love this play today. Then, what is this league again, Buckets?
The Danish Superliga.
The Danish Superliga, Midtjylland over 2.5 minus 120. That is also French. Then AB, Bears to lose a fumble. Vikings to lose a fumble, plus 125, plus 130. Then Sia Nejad, 1 play. He'll have more on primetime early edge tonight. DJ Moore over 61.5 receiving yards, minus 119. And if you're going to cash with the coach, you're going to do it with this play right here. English Premier League. And many of you in the chat have said you're going to roll with me. Let's tail this together. Draw, no bet. A draw, you still get your money back. If you want to buy a quarter of a goal, I'm okay with that. That'll be basically even money. That means a draw, you would win half of your bet. We're here to educate and entertain. Then Danny Brasco, Justin Fields over 52.5, rush yards minus 113. This may be my favorite play on the entire show. I absolutely love this play. All right, thank you to everybody for getting out of bed and showing up today. We appreciate that because my dad used to tell me the hardest part of life is showing up. And we showed up today. We had a great time. We're paying it forward. Be kind to one another. Tell all your friends and family after last weekend you still love them. You still want them around. And we're heading into a very, very busy month right here at the brand. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know. You've got your marching orders. There will be no French today. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire crew, love them all. Buckets, the counselor, Danny Brasco, my man working double duty, my 5-tool player AB. I am simply the coach trying to keep this train on said track. We're back tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, counting down to Monday Night Football, the Bears and the Vikings, because that's simply what we do. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.